Hola Colchoneros, welcome to Atleti Fanatics, and today we are welcoming back Fran. So welcome back, Fran. I mean, like he looks a little bit tired already, like he just woke up. So yeah, I hope he'll be fine with all guns blazing. So we have a new, it's very good news actually for all of us Atleti fans. So Mateu Alemany, he's our now sporting director, and Carlos Bucero, he'll be taking off with the women's team, and Alemany has now all the power for the first team and the academy. So, just guys, initial thoughts. Let's start with Fran itself.
Well, I don't know much about him. I asked on Twitter for opinions from Barcelona fans, and they were kind of all over the place. But, well, I know you can't always read the opinions of other fan bases regarding signings because, well, people behave different in different places and maybe he fits us better. But what I heard is he's really good financially. I heard that he let go some of the Barcelona deadwood, and he did it pretty good. But I know he also gave some massive contracts, like to Lewandowski. But from what I heard, overall, I know he works well. He's good with talent ID, but I am not an expert, so maybe Senkix did some digging and knows more.
Okay, Saint Kicks, yeah, go on. What do you want to add on this?
I I think it was like what, a year or two ago, where we were there was talks about Twitter being replaced, and they were flitting around with names and stuff, and his name was mentioned, but he was eventually closed. I think at the end of 2023, roughly. Like, so I was digging through his stuff. So it's like when you see his work in Mallorca, his work in Valencia, his work in Barcelona, it's nice, but a lot of the times it's very brief. So it's like 1 year, a year and a half, 2 years with a lot of different clubs, and he has a lot of success with a lot of different clubs and a lot of different places. But more importantly, is it seems he's very rarely at one club for a very extended period of time, despite the fact that he has, I think, for most part of his career, going on a steadily an uphill motion in terms of his like just general like profile of who he is as a as his jobs and stuff. So I'm happy because I think the main reason why he failed with Barcelona, well, failed I should say, is like
Did he actually fail?
he didn't fail in terms of his signings. He did great. I talk about why they eventually had a disagreement and why they went separate ways, is because he really thought it was probably for the best at the time because Barcelona was going through a rough financial moment. Look at your academy. You have some really good players here. You just try and integrate them into your team. It didn't really. I wasn't really Laporta's vibe at the time, and as a result, they separated and they went separate ways. But he did have a great hand in the Kunde, Lewandowski, Rafinha summer, which was a really good summer, all things considered, for Barcelona. I think you could see that especially last season with Flicks. Like that was an especially good year. I think how many goals did Lewandowski have last year? Like goals and assists, like 50 or something stupid. And Rafinha, no different. So it took a while, but a lot of these things eventually just, you know. And I want to see something similar for Atletico in the sense of, I think,
Well, I heard that he's really good with free signings.
yes, I've
He
heard that
manages
too.
that very well. But also, he joined Barcelona when they were in a bit of a rough period financially. And he also, before he was at Valencia, who is a club known to be bad financially. So he went in clubs that where he had a big challenge to overcome. Maybe that's good for us.
Yeah.
Well, like the news I'm hearing right now, like which came yesterday, was like the management of Atletico de Madrid, they weren't happy with Bucero in summer because of some of the signings he did. So that's why like Mateu Alemany had to like come in. So now what his job would be like contracts, obviously. I hope he
Mhm.
gives a very good contract to Julian Alvarez. That's I think should be the priority right now. And
Yes,
then and then the responsibility for the first team and reserve team, and then obviously he has to have those meetings with Simeone as well, like Andre Berta used to have, and then again his what do you call it, relationship with other clubs to make those signings as well. And with meanwhile, like Bucero would be with the legal and administrative matters, sorry, and then he'll be managing and expanding the club's brand, and he'll be taking charge of the women's team
But
as well.
he's,
So
I think, in terms of, like, well, I've had my fair share of criticism from Lucero in terms of the transfer window, especially because of Longley, and I'm very upset about that. But in terms of the actual brand of Atletico, in terms of getting in sponsors, him and Oscar Mayo have been like as good as it gets for our club, and you could literally see in the past about year or two since they've been hired, we've got a very, very high level in terms of our overall franchise stuff. But I don't want to talk too deeply into that because I feel like people are not gonna 100% stay on board. But um, I'm not sure what they're criticizing him with this summer specifically in terms of which signings.
I find it a bit odd because this was the first summer, or the first window where he had full control.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave him full control. He spent a shit ton of money,
Mm-hmm.
and they suddenly decided they were not happy. Like, if you want to finance a guy like this, you want to give him this amount of control and money, it would make sense to give him a bit more time. Not one window, you're angry with him and done. But I know some fans don't really look at the brand part that you were talking about, but at the end of the day, it's something important for a club.
Mm-hmm.
We have here at River in Argentina, the club is really bad at football right now, like with the board. But they managed to expand the brand. They expanded into the English territory. The stadium is the biggest now in the whole continent. So that part is perfect, but the football part not. Both parts are important.
Mm-hmm.
the thing, like which actually like caught my eye was like the signing of Mateu Alemany was one of the steps, because again, guys, if you guys don't know who are watching us, like Atletico de Madrid, like we are getting our new owners very soon, and they are from US. And to be honest, I have mixed thoughts about this, because I don't know, like I don't feel good about US owners coming to any European club, because I mean, like it might be good for branding and everything, like maybe they'll take a good step to a marketing level, because I would say like Atletico de Madrid right now with marketing and stuff, we're not really that good. But maybe they'll do an upgrade on that. But like the thing is, like where it matters the most is like the pitch, and I don't feel good about the US. I mean, like, you guys can look at Chelsea. Is Chelsea is all over the place,
Chelsea's a
and
mixed bag, though.
But
Chelsea,
look at Arsenal. Arsenal also have US owners.
they spend a lot of money.
yeah, but again,
They don't have
what
any
I'm saying
trophies
is
to back
like
it up, though.
what I'm saying is like you don't know what you're getting. Like I don't know, like sometimes like it feels like it's weird, because the US owners, like they're mostly focused on generating money out of the club, because they don't do it for the passion or anything. They see
Well,
business
that
opportunity. They see
depends on the
business
US owner.
opportunity.
It depends on
That's
the US.
also true. That's
No, but
also
you
true.
can
But
you
I
don't know
don't.
what you're getting with any owner with in the sort of way that European football is run. Maybe you have a very bad owner that is from Europe and he only wants money and doesn't care about the rest.
Maybe you have like one of the best ever owners, and he comes straight from Saudi. Maybe he's the opposite. Like I think
No,
I,
for
this is
me,
the,
for me, the best thing, for me, the best thing is like let the fans decide. Like for example, Real Madrid, they have their own, like it's owned by the fans, and then it's just like like
the whole
they
story
do
of
the
why Atletico
voting.
does it.
Yeah, they do the voting and stuff. So it's like the 51%, or like whatever you want to call it, like it's owned by the fans and the groups and whatever they do the voting to, like
But
for the
please,
president and anything.
Well,
Yeah, so I think even Bayern Munich, you can see in Germany, again, the same thing. It's owned by fans.
Atletico used to have that, and then it was stolen from us. So
well, nowadays, I think only Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Athletic
I
have
think
that
Sociedad
sort.
have it too, no?
I don't know. I can't
Who?
remember. But
No,
in
Sociedad.
Argentina, you can't own a club. Every club has votes. You can vote on who the president is, and well, that gives power
Yeah,
to the people.
I mean, that's what I meant. Like, like if you don't do a good job, like, like your term is over. So you have to do a good, like, for example, like Laporta, like right now, like, like elections are coming in Barcelona, and like that's why Barcelona fans are literally licking the ass to saying, like, get Alvarez. And like, like he's trying to get Alvarez to be the next president, whatever, which I know, like, come on, man. Like,
You shouldn't worry too much about that because Laporta, when I was a young boy, Laporta was trying to fulfill elections, right? He was like, yeah, I'm gonna get David Beckham to spite Real Madrid for getting Luis Figo, and then he got Ronaldinho. So, and that worked out way better than I think Beckham would have ever done. So you never know.
There are
no, but
advantages and
again,
disadvantages
But
both
Yes.
again,
ways.
back to my question. Back to my question. So this Apollo, like our new owners might be Apollo. So I don't know, like what they will do. So like again, like it can be like it can go from bad to worse. Like you know what I mean? Like we are like fine. Like our owners are kind of bad, but like, it can go bad to worse, or it can go bad to good. I don't know. Like it can happen either way. So just the thing is like the US. I think the US owners. I don't really feel confident with the US owners. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't read too much about it, but aren't the current board members still going to run the club?
I
Like
believe
Ilmari
it's
and
something
Cerezo.
along. It's not 100, but from what they've said, the takeover was supposed to be in 2027. So, like after that season is done, we're gonna go.
Oh, he's gone again.
Well, I haven't read much into the Apollo news. At first, I thought it was not going to happen, so I didn't get much into it. But I will have to investigate now that it's a bit more official.
No, for me it was a surprise actually because like I was expecting us to get Saudi owners because of the fact that we have so many sponsors from Saudi Arabia. With like Riyadh Air is our main sponsor, our stadium sponsor is Riyadh Air. So I was just expecting someone from Saudi Arabia because again, like if you do that much investment in a club, like you have a motive behind it.
You should
Like exactly. So like
tell you for
that
a
feels.
fact.
So I don't know. Like maybe I have no idea, to be honest. Okay, I'll just ask this question: would you guys like to have a Saudi owner, or would you guys like to have an American owner?
Depends. I don't know what to say. It's like you can't have the PIF, which is the Saudi National Fund, because that's already with Newcastle, and that's already a big investment for him. So if it was an individual Saudi owner, I can't even say I'm sure about that. This is the nature with new owners, as Fran was saying. It's like you don't really know what you get until you get it.
Yes.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Like John
Well, I
Texas
hope like it.
could be for Botafogo, but he
Well, John
hasn't.
Texter is in a bit of a fight. Like he left the Eagle Group. The Eagle Group owns
Right.
Botafogo, Leon, Palace,
Yeah.
and Texter left that. So Texter is technically not the owner of Botafogo anymore, but he's fighting to get only Botafogo. But it's a bit of a shady situation because Marinakis,
Mhm.
the Nottingham Forest owner. I think Textor and Marinakis are plotting together so that Marinakis buys Botafogo and leaves it in charge of Textor. I don't know. It's a very tricky situation. Better not to get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, guys. Anyway, so that was Alemany. That was the ownership, Polo, and then now let's just get to the main part, which we're actually discussing, which is the tactics of which Simeone has introduced this season. And yeah, St. Kicks. You wanna go ahead with this one?
Ah, um, I want to follow up on some thoughts from Fran because Fran has a really big tactics channel on on Twitter where he talks about South American tactics. Go and follow that. We're gonna link it down below. Um, so he had mentioned earlier this season as well, right? He says he thinks that at least for now, the Simeone system kind of works more better in a back three. And while I do agree, at least in terms of his approach, is that way, it's just it feels like the team itself is not really built for a back three. Where So I'm not sure why he's deciding to push so heavily for it in these moments. It's like, so we've seen it with Hanko as a left back / centre back in between these games.
But it kind of worked for him as well. Like if you look at the Rayo Vallecano game, we switched to back three. It did kind of work.
Kinda, sorta, but it has its problems because that same back three is the reason why we conceded that second goal, right? Like there was space in between these things because they didn't practice it, right? Like these things happen because you're not 100% familiar with in terms of the intricacies, because we didn't really do it in preseason. The players that we did use it with preseason, like Pubil, like we call it. Wow, like half, like almost none of us center backs did the back three anyway. But the we practice almost the majority of our first team with the 4-4-2. We set the 4 system with either a 5-3-2 defensive shape or 6-3-1 defensive shape, right? That's what we set up for in the preseason. We still do those 2 different separate shapes, but we still have problems where I think, for instance, if you look at the Mallorca game, Llorente shouldn't really be in a situation where he's further backwards compared to Molino in terms of the wide defending, right? Like,
but Llorente is like mostly getting used as a third centre back when we switch to a back 5.
I don't know if that's the best idea. Considering what we can get from him further forward, I'm not sure that's the best idea.
But then where would Giuliano go?
Therein comes the other problem, I suppose. You know, I don't know. So, question: the floor is to you, Fran. How do you view a lot of these like issues, and how would you see what is the solutions that you think Simeone should approach with?
Well, last season we had a lot of the dynamics of Llorente playing as a right center back in possession in a back 5.
Line up.
And what?
No.
Go on.
Yeah. And well, Llorente playing there and Giuliano holding with.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that at the start of this season, Simeone tried more of a 2-3-5 situation where Llorente was very wide.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you guys remember the Espanyol game. We did that a lot, but then switch back to having Llorente as a third center back again. Now, we know that Llorente playing through that right side is excellent. Playing very deep in attack, he's incredible. We know it. But yeah, I know Simeone prefers his son playing wider. But would we get any worse if Giuliano, I don't know, attack the half spaces and Llorente wide? I don't think so. But the problem is that Hanko still plays as a left back, but he doesn't play as a center back in possession.
Mm-hmm.
You see that backline, Hanko, Lenglet, Lenormand, Llorente, and you say, okay, Llorente is going to attack in possession and Hanko is going to play as a left center back. But no. Hanko tends to go forward and Llorente tends to play as a center back, which I think it would be best if it's the other way around. I don't know if you guys agree.
I agree. I don't like
especially having Nico Gonzalez. Nico Gonzalez is someone who has played a ton at left wing back. He played his first game with Argentina was there and he scored a goal.
Fran, the thing is, Fran, look. I mean, like you're saying, right? Like David Hansko goes as a left back. He doesn't play as a left centre back when we go to back 5. That is correct, because Llorente comes in. Robin Lenormand, he goes to the center, Longley shift to the left hand side, and then you have David Hansko on the left back. But you're talking about Nico Gonzalez, but then we play with the when we defend, we play with the 5-3-2. So again, Nico Gonzalez comes in midfield position.
Yes, I saw that. Well, the Mallorca game, I remember we defended with a 5-4-1. Oh no, wait, no, the Mallorca, no, the Celta game. Before we had the red card, we were defending with a 5-4-1 with Nico Gonzalez playing as a midfielder out of possession. He was in the midfield in that 5-4-1, and Hanko defending wide. Like Hanko isn't playing in possession wide, as a center back, and he isn't playing out of possession as a center back, and he's your best center back. So I don't know
And
why.
he's also our best left back as well. So it's
Yes,
do you
but
see the dilemma over there?
What hurts you more? Having Lenglet as a starter or having Ruggeri or Galan as a starter?
And it's Longley. It's Longley all day.
I don't even think Galan is super bad against those smaller teams. I don't know, against Celta, who hasn't won a game all season. Would it have been super bad to play Galan? I know he does
No, I mean
terrible
like Javi Galan struggles against wingers like who are very good technically and they have very good dribbling skills. Javi Galan struggles. He literally go left and right. He don't know where to go.
I didn't even dislike Ruggeri against Frankfurt.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say I had mixed feelings about that one, but I would say for the team like Celta Vigo, like yes, you're correct. Like David Hanska should have played as a centre back, and Javi Galan or Ruggeri. I think for me, like Ruggeri should have been the preferred option for the left back position because again, like we need this guy for our future. Like otherwise, why did we sign him? You spent 17 million in the summer for him, so like give him that exposure, give him that time, give him that minutes to develop. And games like this, Celta Vigo, it's perfect for him. Get that experience, get that playing time, get that confidence. So
yes,
I mean, I agree with you on that one. That was a very very bad lineup from Simeone.
Yeah, but I still think that maybe a 5 at the back, or yes, I think a 5 at the back maybe fits the squad best because you can have. Okay, I think that if we play a back 5, the best center backs we can play are Hanko as the left center back and Hubil as the right center back. Mainly because we don't have anything better. I don't trust Lenglet at all, and well, Jimenez is a very good middle center back. But well, in the meantime, we have Lenormand. But yeah, Hubil and Hansko as the wide center backs, I think that's as good as you can get. I mean, Hubil has played very well whenever he entered the pitch. He's not an incapable player. He's not Lenglet. Well, I think Nico Gonzalez as the left wing back fits us best. Maybe we have a better protection for the midfield too, considering we have Barrios doing everything and Koke and Gallagher switching from game to game. I think it's what fits us best, and we can have Almada Baena playing closer in midfield that way. So I don't know. I think it fits us best. Maybe it fixes some problems defensively, especially the need of Lenglet and Hanko in his better position.
I agree in terms of that. I think what is just like my frustration is not so much that it doesn't make sense in terms of the board. It's just like Simeone asked for more than one centre back quite a few months ago, right? We were clearly asked about there was supposed to be 2 new centre backs coming in. We re-signed Longley, and there was still an assumption in a lot of people's head that there was going to be still 2 new centre backs. So we got Hanko, happy with that. Now you need another centre back because Jimenez has not played preseason thus far. We have not really seen him since Club World Cup. Lenormand at the time was not really at the level that we could really talk about, and then you kind of needed somebody to like Hubil is great in terms of whatever, but it's like okay, we need somebody else. And the club was like, "That's it. You're getting one centre back. You're getting nothing else." And
No, we have two centre backs. What are you saying? You're forgetting Marco Bielsa.
oh, Marco Villas is centre. All right,
Exactly.
Marco Villas, Marco Villas is centre back, right? And so of I guess you could do that. Like in terms of what Pubil has shown thus far, we saw him as a sort of right-sided centre back in the Rayo game, right, as well as a right back. We'll probably see more of him after this episode. Like after this recording, we'll see him again in the Inter game, in Atleti Inter game, as a right back. But what we saw was a player who can comfortably dribble out of pressure, has good understanding of his space, good understanding of passing and these other things, a decent-ish level of defending. Could be better, but the only way for him to get better is for exposure. You can't just let him on the bench to rot, like, you know what I mean? So the way to fix this, the way to get this situation into the back three and these other things is, once you use your back three, if you want to do these things, you have to utilize players you're not utilizing right now. When I see Molina come on in the Mallorca game, I know I'm going to lose, or we're going to draw. Like we knew we were going. I saw him come on, and I knew we were going to concede. So said, so done. When Molina came on for the Celta game, we're 1-1, right? I'm thinking we're not scoring. Are we going to concede again? When I don't not to pound on Molina too much specifically. I mean, like there's certain players that you're relying on, like Conley as well, who can't really work in a back five because he doesn't really work well as a wide centre back. He doesn't have a lot of qualities defensively. He doesn't necessarily get to show a lot of what he wants to do and these other things. So it's like all you have to do, not all you have to, but things you have to think about is focus on these players who could complement your system and should complement your system. I don't know. Simeone's desire to hold on to certain players, I can't. Is the problem with some of these tactics? You know.
Yeah, but he always has done that. I remember the days where Saul used to play every game as a left back.
Yeah.
He had some options around that, but yeah, he always had his thing with certain players where that it's okay. I mean,
The thing is, I think Simeone doesn't trust someone so fast. Like we've seen that a lot. Yeah, we've seen. I mean, like again, Simeone doesn't really have options, so like obviously he has to play David Hansco. Sometimes David Hansco doesn't even play; like he's on the bench. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like sometimes he rotates, but then sometimes he doesn't really rotate. For example, the Celta game, I expected rotations in that game. It didn't really happen. And then obviously we had that stupid red card, and then everything went to shit. All that hyped up Madrid derby win, Frankfurt 5 goals each, gone within the next La Liga match day. So like I still think Simeone still doesn't have figured out what his best 11 is. And as fans, even if I think about it, like even I don't know like what our best 11 is. That's really bizarre.
Speaking
that's
of,
really bizarre, actually.
I think that's something that we actually should talk about, which is another follow-up, which is who is Alvarez's best partner? That's
Baena for sure. Baena for sure. For me, Baena, 100% Baena. The way I saw Atleti played against Espanyol, Mamma mia! Like the first 70 minutes, away game. Fuck, that was way too. The possession, the link-up play, everything was superb.
How do you feel, Farhan?
The problem I have with Baena being the Julian partner is that I don't like when Baena plays super up top and doesn't come down to pick the ball, because at Villarreal he was pulling all the strings. You had a player that came as deep as the midfield too and grabbed the ball and made things happen. That's what I want with Baena, and maybe it's not what I want all the time from Almada.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know what the best partner for Julian is, but Julian so far has played best with Griezmann, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But they have an understanding.
Well with Sorloth as well, but you know he has a different role. I I do think that the Spaniel game was our best XI, our best lineup. I liked the way we played there. Maybe with not with Gallagher in there, but yeah, one of Almada Baena I think is best to pair with Julian. Maybe to try some games. I know we'll have a lot of rotation. Griezmann will play. He's playing well. He will play even when we have Almada Baena. I think those three rotating will be something we'll see a lot. So I don't know. I want to see them more because we got one game of Almada Baena.
Let's see. Okay, let's just say I'm gonna ask you the same case. Okay, you can add. Okay, let's just say everyone is available, no injuries, nothing. I mean, defense. I know defense is pretty easy and obvious. It's Oblak, it's Lorente, it's Jimenez, David Hansko, and then left back you can go with Ruggieri, or you can go with David Hansko as a left back, and then Robbie Lenormand and Jimenez as centre back. So I think defense is pretty much sorted. But now the problem comes at the front. So now we have Sorloth, Griezmann, we have Almada, we have Baena, we have Nico Gonzalez, we have Johnny Cardoso, we have Barrios, we have Koke.
Which is our best midfield two? Barrios and Johnny or Barrios and Koke? Because Johnny
Depends.
nowadays
That
is a
depends.
better
That
footballer.
really depends. You see, again, that's debatable. That depends. Look, Barrios is definitely there. I think
Yes,
Barrios is definitely, but Johnny Cardoso for me, I'll go with Johnny Cardoso because the guy is a ball winner and we need that.
We looked very organized with Koke so far.
That's what
That's also true. That's also true. That's also true. That's also true. But then I guess Pablo Barrios has much more freedom when he plays with Johnny Cardoso.
So it's like, what do you trust in a sense, right? Like, do you want Koke to organize your midfield, organize your team? And I think for the most part, yeah, especially without Jimenez being there, because the defense already feels a little, it is shaky. It's very shaky. So your first line of defense right now is your midfield. And if Koke is controlling your midfield, well, you don't need Jimenez as much. You still need him because we still have problems. But it's probably going to be Koke for right now. But then you kind of need to play Cardoso as well because Koke is 33. As much as he's been insane in these past few games, and I've loved what I've seen so far, you can't guarantee that he'll be there every single time and he'll be able to have the same level of output every single time. And he's going to have that seasonal injury where he's out for a month too. What do you do then? You know what I mean?
Exactly. So again, I would say it depends on the opponent as well. Like what kind of opponent we're facing. So like if we're facing someone like who's, for example, PSG, like who presses very hard, so like we need someone like Koke to get away from that press.
Can't really use Cardoso in those situations, I suppose.
Exactly. So it also depends on the opponents we're playing. But again, back to the question. Like I said, like even us as fans, we don't know what our best starting lineup is, and like even I think like Simeone hasn't figured out that as well. And this is why we see all these different alterations with David Hansko or Giuliano, Lorente. And then I think like he has figured out like way to play Nico Gonzalez. But I think like he will struggle again when Bayern and Almada will come back. Because then again, he has to think. Because Nico Gonzalez is having a great time with Atleti right now. And if Almada comes in, because we saw Almada playing as the same role which Nico Gonzalez is playing right now. Like now, where do you put Almada? And then it's very, very confusing.
I think it's good. Up top, I think we have Simeone has options because you can easily play Nico Gonzalez as a striker as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in games you need to attack spaces better, or you are more prepared to play in transitions. But yeah, we have options. Almada on the left, Baena on the left, Nico Gonzalez on the left. Giuliano maybe can get a rest, and Llorente, Nico Gonzalez can also play there. Julian partner, we have Griezmann, Baena, Almada. We have options. I think that up top, Simeone will
forgetting
decide.
We're forgetting my boy Raspadori as well.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. He played well as against Frankfurt.
Like really well, which was surprising to be honest.
Yes, I didn't know he had that in him.
So
No, I knew it. What are you talking about? I knew it.
all right, but this the follow up again now is it's like it's a good problem to have in terms of not knowing what your starting 11 is in terms of these things, because generally that means usually it means that you have a good level across the board. Griezmann has shown in recent weeks, but last week or so, I should say, a really nice level. Like what we haven't seen in months, we've got back to what was really good. So that shows something nice. I don't really like Solar's season thus far, but no, there's no follow up. I just don't like Solar's season thus far. He scored against Real Madrid, and I was happy with that. But Raspadori, when he has shown up, his cameos have been good, except the Espanyol game. Almada, Baena, Nico Gonzalez, Giuliano, all players that you can kind of be like, all right, well, I can play you in different positions. I can do different things that I want with these things. So the follow up is now Nico Gonzalez is a strange player as well because he's somewhere in between. He ideally is supposed to be a rotational player, but he's good enough to be a starter, right?
I mean, the way he's playing, I think like he's pretty much a starter because the hard work he's putting into the games is way too much.
Right.
Like, look at the way he played against Real Madrid. I saw him with Giuliano as well on the right flank where he was pressing very hard.
No, Simeone is going to love Nico Gonzalez because he works hard. He's that kind of like Giuliano on the right. Maybe Giuliano is not the most technical player, but he works hard and he always will be there, just like Nico Gonzalez. But the problem is the squad is a bit unbalanced because we have a ton of options for the front four, but the midfield two and the defense. For the midfield two, we had three options. You can play Gallagher there, but you know it's not ideal. But up top, I think we're good. If Simeone,
You think we're good? I mean, like we're missing a lot of chances.
yes.
I mean, the principle is good, yeah.
The principle is good, correct. We're talking about there was a rumor about Newcastle going for Sarlot, which what do you guys think? Would you guys be happy?
So, the only problem with selling him is if that is in the January window, who do you get as a replacement?
Exactly. You know, I saw this tweet of Simeone wants Lautaro Martinez up top. He wants to pair Julian Alvarez with Lautaro Martinez. And I saw a very funny comment down there. He said, like, yeah, sure. Like, you want Lautaro Martinez up top? Fine. Simeone's preferred choice for defense is Cuti Romero. And Simeone's midfield next season, Simeone's preferred midfield choice would be McAllister. Why don't we just play Argentina national anthem, at the Metropolitano before the game? Which was, I think, very, very funny.
If Sorlot leaves, do you get a replacement?
Yeah, I think Simeone's system doesn't work with. He needs a good striker up front. Julian Alvarez is good, yes, but he needs someone up front to hold the play.
I think there's a funny question because it's like technically you don't need one actually. Like I think we're almost overstocked in forwards right now.
No, I think we definitely need. Look, I'll give you a prime example. The game against Real Madrid, Sorlot. We were using Sorlot the best way. We were just playing long balls. Sorlot was creating spaces. He was holding up the play, and he was pushing the defense backwards as well. He wasn't like letting them go up front. So for me, Sorlot was utilized in a best way, even though like he missed that chance obviously. But again, I think we utilized Sorlot very well in the Madrid derby.
Okay. Counterpoint. What about the Liverpool game with Raspadori and Alvarez as the top two? We are against two very, very good physical centre backs in Konate and Virgil van Dijk, right? Who are very capable in terms of being able to stop big centre backs, centre forwards, and these other things from being able to draw them in. And yet, Raspadori, able to time his runs into perfection, managed to create a chance basically out of nothing and give us a chance to score back, and then also our movements that we did in the second half as well. So it's like I think we do need a big guy in general, in just for.
No, again, to that point, I would say again, like Raspadori, like I said, Raspadori is my guy, everything. Like I said, like Raspadori is the perfect replacement Angel Correa. But like you can't compare Raspadori with Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez making those runs, making, being in those spaces. Julian Alvarez being that technical player, it's way different than Raspadori.
I
Okay,
suppose that's the yeah. But
I
go ahead, Aaron.
I think yes. Okay, it would be best if we had a big man up top who scored goals. But considering how the squad was built, if Sorloth leaves in January, should we get a replacement or put other positions as a priority? That's the main issue here. Yes, I think a striker would be best, a big guy, but considering how the squad was built, I think I would prioritize other stuff.
Like I
But
think we
again,
need
look, friend. Like I get that. But again, like look at the way we are set up when we attack. It's all of our game is about crossing. So like you just taking that main thing out of the game.
But that's a Simeone problem.
yeah, I don't know if
I
that's
We
necessarily
I
true.
can't.
mean I mean he's actually going for that. Like that's why we play in that formation. So like if you just take out Sarlot, so like
Yeah, but
what are you left with?
Sorloth doesn't even score many headers.
Yes, that's what I said. Like we need someone striker like who's good up. I mean, because again, we talked about this many times as well. Solot could have won Pichichi easily in my eyes last season. Easily, the chances he had, even the chances he had this season, he should have been like up there with Julian Alvarez with 6, 7 goals or with Mbappe 8 goals. But then Solot doesn't finish his chances, and then we see some games like Real Sociedad or Girona or whatever where he literally banged goals for fun.
I said I agree. I said that we need a player like him, but I said also that I would put our positions in priority, like I don't know, a reliable center back or another midfielder, because in January, after January, we're getting to the hardest part of the season with in terms of schedule, and having 3 midfielders for the midfield too is going to be tough. Koke maybe physically won't be as sharp as we progress into the season. So I don't know. Maybe it's not that bad to get a.
I think it's like if you look at last season, right? Like we're comfortable. I don't know if comfortable, but we're in all competitions and we're a decent contender in all of them. We're semifinals in the Copa del Rey. We're I think league leaders for a decent for a small portion of time in La Liga. We're doing well in Champions League. We're top 5 in Champions League, right? We're good across the board. Koke gets an injury in the midfield. It's only Barrios and DePaul. DePaul has been playing through an injury for about 8 games.
Yes, we had the toughest stretch of the season. We had to play Athletic, who are fourth, third. We had to play Madrid twice or Barcelona thrice. So
Yeah.
that was the toughest part of the season, and Koke was injured. We had Barrios on the pole. In the Valencia game, I remember that Llorente played in midfield to give, and I don't remember if Barrios or the Paul a rest, but in those scenarios, we are kind of screwed.
So the follow up is now, what do you say? And then worse yet, right? Let's look at Longley in that same stretch of period of time, because he was played a lot in that period of time, right? Yellow card and penalty against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Vinny fortunately skied it, but that could have ended our season right then and there, right? Um, uh, but I don't know. I don't want to say he's the main culprit for the goal for Barcelona, because that could happen to anybody. But in the La Liga game when we're winning 2-0 up comfortably, he loses his mind and just says, "I don't care about Lewandowski and Ferran Torres. You can do what you want in my box. Go ahead, dog." And then they get 2 goals out of basically nothing, and we're the advantage that we had for about 75 minutes is gone like that. You look at the Real Valladolid game, a game we just need as a pick me up, right? Easy game to get some goals with, like 2-0 up or something, like 1 or 2-0 up. and we can just debut Ryan. He gives away a stupid free kick that they immediately score from a deflection, and he gives away a stupid penalty. You can't rely on these players. You need to get a situation where it's like, so if Solat was to leave, we're entertaining the possibility. Solat is probably going to be here, to be honest. But if he was to leave, you need to address the other areas, which is you have a midfield problem. You have a center back problem.
And
Yeah, I don't think the board will go with defensive midfield. I don't
Oh
think
no,
so.
not at all. No, we know the board wants, but
Yeah, because I know.
Well,
Like,
I don't know
as soon
what
as
Alemany would-
if
true. It's-
but
but
wait,
again, look again. Simeone, I think Simeone will definitely say like I need someone up front. He will definitely say that, and now we'll look for options like who are cheap and free up front. Now maybe Vlahovic card might play. Who knows? I don't know.
Alvich,
Maybe
Salah.
maybe Molina leaves as well. Nahul Molina in the winter market can be an option. Who knows? But I think the defense would remain the same for the entire season. I don't see any changes
I think
Okay,
in the
but-
back line.
wait.
Good,
So
good friend.
we say that we need a big man to score the headers from the multiple crosses we do per game.
Mhm.
How much worse in the air is Nico Gonzalez compared to Sorloth?
He's not. He's very good, actually. Nico Gonzalez is very good.
So
Maybe.
So
then,
okay, now that can be a good option for Nico Gonzalez.
He
True.
has played as a striker for Argentina Juniors and Stuttgart.
so there's
It's an
that
option.
option.
It's an option. Like if we weren't going to buy a Sorloth replacement, Simeone has options. That's the main
think-
point.
The irony is though, is like Sola. As much as we talk about Sola and the possibility of him leaving, I think the reality is we have three fullbacks on the side, right? Like Hanko is sort of an auxiliary fullback, but Galan was supposed to leave this summer. Molina was supposed to leave this summer. If either of them leave in the January window, we're not going to buy a right back or a left back as a result. We're going to have to use that in a different area, which is either a centre back, a midfielder, whatever it is. Or we might just leave it open because, Simeone doesn't necessarily like a very filled to the brim squad. So maybe he just leaves that as a possibility in terms of these things. But it's like when you look at, I don't know, I'm looking at the Alemany signing as I'm trying to be as hopeful as possible because I view clear problems in our squad that could be addressed, and I think if we address them, we could get into a really good position come that January to June window.
Something I don't understand is, well, you said that Galan and Molina were very close to leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And you signed Puil and Ruggeri as replacements for them.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you explain that now Molina and Galan seem to have more chances, more game time than those you brought to replace them?
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Like now, I'm telling, like we talked about this on our show. I think Molina will definitely, if he's staying at the club, he will definitely play over Marco Bill. That's for sure because World Cup is next season. He will definitely play. He's Argentina's top option for the right back position. So yeah, I think Scaloni definitely has.
I think they have better
yeah.
options, but yeah, Scaloni is number one. I don't think he's the best option, but he's the one that plays every game.
Molina, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So like, you need someone to be on that level with that match fitness and to be prepared for the World Cup. So maybe that's the only reason I see for Molina playing in front of Marco Bill. That's the only reason. That's it.
Yes, but we are not a charity that gives Molina game time so that he can be fit for the World Cup.
It's Argentina boy band. What do you want? Simeone is Argentinian. Molina is Argentinian. Like, what are they expecting? Do you think Simeone would say like, no, like, like I'm not gonna play Argentina's top option as a right back right now? No. Obviously, he will play. I mean, like he will say like, okay, like my first choice is Lorente, but yes, I will give him minutes. Just he remains sharp, anything, and then yeah, because I think like if Argentina had a different option as a right back up front, I think situation would have been different. I really think.
Well, Scaloni has been trying. He played Montiel in the last.
Do you really think Montiel will get ahead of Naval Molina? Come on, man.
No, but Montiel has been playing very well. He also tried Foyth.
Juan Foyth, yes, which is good, but I don't think Juan Foyth can provide you what Molina can provide, even though Molina is having a bad season. Defensively, yes. Juan Foyth is much better option. Yeah, defensively, Juan Foyth is much better option. But going up front, you have to go with Molina.
To be honest, in my head, Molina should be 15th choice for Argentina. I think there are many better right backs, even in South American football. I think the Montiel is the starter at River. The backup at River, I think it's better than Molina. But well, that's in my head because I tend to exaggerate things.
I suppose.
But that's the reason. I think that's the only reason I see Molina getting minutes over Pubil. And it's not. I think Pubil is not going to get minutes unless until it's a game where we don't have to play our main lineup. For example, the Copa del Rey games where we play the second teams from second division teams or third division teams. There we can see Mark Pubil. Other than that, I don't see Mark Pubil playing over Nahuel Molina. Until let's say, unfortunately someone gets injured, then Pubil can get his chance.
Sure.
Other than that, I don't see Mark Pubil getting minutes over Nahuel Molina. If someone is coming over Marcus Llorente in second half, that is Molina.
Pubil hasn't been getting chances over Molina anyway. He has been getting chances as a center back. In the preseason, he played fully as a middle center back against Liverpool. Molina entered, and later Pubil entered as center back. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he's getting chances over Molina or going to get chances over Molina. He's maybe going to get chances over Jimenez because Jimenez is injured or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Linoma actually has improved after the last international break. He has improved, and hopefully he can. Yeah, hopefully he can improve more going after this international break. So again, I don't see Mark Pubil again. I only see him playing against the second or third division sides. That's it.
I mean, it's up to what we see. Also Copa del Rey has changed a little bit. I'm not sure if I need to talk about that specifically now. I think they're trying to do regional stuff in Copa del Rey now. But hopefully after this game with Inter Milan was going to go on later today, we'll get to see some more players where I would like to see. They're supposed to be originally like Pubil at right back, like we call it Almada, maybe a bit further forward. Like things that we thought were going to happen.
This game is a charity game. I don't think it doesn't make any sense.
It's a test. It's not going to be at full strength because neither is Inter Milan as well. They have almost the entire 11 is on the national duty. So obviously that as well. But I'm just thinking of it from that point of view. And then also you'll get to see some youngsters, not many though. And not necessarily.
It won't matter. I'm telling you, it won't matter. We can Taufik can score a hat trick. It won't matter.
Taufik won't be here. Taufik is in the he's on national duty.
World Cup, yeah. But
and Hano?
Hano, he's supposed to be here. I don't know why he's not here.
Okay. I really want to see Spina though. I really want to see Spina.
Yeah, he's not here either. I don't know why.
Okay, maybe we see Shane. Is he here?
Which one? Sorry.
Omar Jane.
No, I don't know.
Jane is here.
Okay.
In terms of the players I'm interested in, there's Castillo, who's a very good centre midfield. I think I view him in the same kind of line as Taufik, somebody who's supposed to eventually become a part of our squad. To what level we'll see, but I view him very highly. I think Dario Frey, also very good midfielder, and then Jane. I don't care about anybody else on that they called up. Players,
Costas? Is Costas there?
Yeah, Costas is there. Let me not be too disrespectful to Costas. Costas is nice. But
there you go.
There's Puric, who we bought as a centre-back, I'm surprised that he's even here, because when you look at the centre-backs that we have...
I
Like
forgot. I forgot. I forgot his name. Who was the guy with the left foot who was playing alongside Griezmann up front against? He was playing in preseason. I forgot his name.
left foot, Griezmann up front. You mean Yano Monterrate?
It was Yano. I think it was Yano only. Yeah.
Sorry, my Spanish is not good. Anyway, yeah, he was there, and then Ryan was also there in the was it Newcastle?
No, but Yano was
No,
getting
Newcastle,
minutes.
no,
Yeah,
Porto, I think.
Yano was getting minutes. Yeah, even against Porto. Yeah, Yano was getting minutes.
Yeah, that it to me, I'm confused as to why he has not been called up here. He has been okay, like for the B team. Like he could be better, but I liked what he's shown so far. But him, Ike Luque, who's been fantastic for the B teams thus far. He looks like a sort of a Giuliano kind of vibes. He's a very hard runner, very smart, very good at what he does. His crossing is immaculate, and his ball striking is great. I thought he would be here. He's not here. Bonya, I thought he would be here. He's not here. There's plenty of really good B team players and even C team players I thought would be called up. He's called up.
I really wanna. Yeah.
So
I really want to know. I really want to know what's going on with Spina. Like this guy was on Barcelona's radar, and then what happened?
there's some. I'm not gonna talk about that actually.
Like seriously, like
He posted about. Okay, never mind. I didn't say anything. My hands up. I didn't say it.
Someone I am not very happy about how his development has been is Kostis, because Kostis has been in the first team radar for what, 2 years?
3, I think it.
3, and he hasn't been getting chances at all. Like not even in preseason. This season, yeah, against Porto and Newcastle, I don't think he played. I don't remember. So I don't like how his development is going, and I'm less hopeful for him. But I really wanted to see Spina.
I think both of those players should have been looking for a second division loan last season. At least. Like we got to see a little bit of Costis in the Copa. We got to see a little bit of him in the preseason last year, not last preseason, but last year's preseason.
for me, Costas was really good. Like in last year's preseason, especially that match against Man City. I mean, that guy caught my eye.
That was the preseason before that. That was 2023.
Yes.
Yeah. But even then, it's like the fact that we can talk about that and we clearly saw it and it was like, that guy has a good level. Surely he'll be integrated. We're in 2025. We're approaching 2026. It's not looking good.
Funny thing. Javi Serrano, he got called up quite a few times for the first team, and like he's still playing for the B team. Like, can you imagine? He hasn't gone for loan or anything.
Javi Serrano is a really good case of wasted potential from Atletico, right? Javi Serrano is not. He's not a Barrios level talent. Right? Like he's not a guy who's going to change the entire team, but he's supposed to be somebody who you can use as your squad. He comes in, does the other things. We've loaned him out 3 times, and not one of those that we loaned to is good. We loaned him out to Mirandes. Mirandes is not good for midfielders; he's good for forwards. Nothing else. He played 9 games in the first part of the season. Then we loaned him out to Ibiza. Ibiza was already guaranteed to be relegated in January. Why would you loan him out there? They're not good. And then you follow it up by you loan him out to, I can't remember.
Republic, I think it was.
No, it was that's Austria, Stilgratz.
Austria.
Barely got game time there as well. He got 2 trophies.
Recording in progress.
Didn't he play in the Champions League as well?
He did play in the Champions League. So it's Europa. I think they were playing that last season. But it's like he played. He was kinda ish there. But it's like the 3 bad loans, and then he's in the B team, and I think in between this season he will turn 23, and then he will not be able to get call-ups to the main team. We've fully wasted his potential because he started for us in like 21, 22 or something like that. It should have been give him some time, a proper time in Segunda. You should give him some time, maybe in a first division team or something like that. And the same is the case with like like what we did with Juliana, what we did with Carlos Martin. Who, again, we haven't even talked about him today, which is not a good
Carlos
sign.
Martin. I think Carlos Martin was again like the guy like who the people who hear this, they know like Carlos Martin. I'm not really a big fan of Carlos Martin, but like I don't really see him succeeding at Atletico de Madrid. Like maybe like he can succeed for the teams, but I don't see him succeeding over here. But let's see today, like against Inter Milan, how he plays.
This. I could sit down and talk to you for a long time about how I feel about Atletico and the youth team. I hope with Alemany that will change. But for right now, if you look at Sancre's updates, it's been bad news upon bad news upon bad news, just from start of the summer to now. It's just been hilarious. But anyway, that's all I have to say about the B team. Is that we've talked a lot about tactics. We talked a lot about recent updates, recent changes, what could potentially happen in the future. What other thoughts you'll have on the general vibes about the team right now?
Well, it's good that we gained that momentum of the Madrid and Frankfurt game. Kind of ruined it with the Celta game, but well, we had that red card.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a good platform to do well. I don't know if to be on another level of winning stuff, but I think we have a good platform to compete with big teams, because I said it on Twitter that we had some good players to play that transition football that Simeone likes. So I think that our best games have been against the strongest oppositions, because well, we risk a bit less and we played more with the opposition attacking in transitions. Like the Frankfurt played super open in defense, well, as most Bundesliga teams, and we got the best of that. Real Madrid are a team that wants to control games, and we took advantage of that. Against Liverpool, we were pretty good. So I think we are a team that will do well against big teams. I think that maybe we can even do very well in the Champions League, depending on our draws. But I think that we will continue to drop some points against those small teams, and that is not very good. We need to fix that. But maybe I am very curious about what Simeone does with Almada, because without Almada, he has been playing this in possession 3-2-5, 3-1-6, and with Almada, he always played with Almada in midfield, in a midfield three. I know Almada started on the left, but he usually in possession drifted into midfield. And yeah, I think that will be interesting. We'll have to wait and see. I want to see what Simeone does with a full team now, because we didn't see the squad, the team play with Almada, Baena, Nico Gonzalez, everyone. But yeah, I think it's right now we are better built to win against big teams, but we have struggled against almost every small team, because the smaller teams defend more compact, and as Alex said, we do a lot of crosses. And that is not that much. But at least we gain momentum with the Madrid and Frankfurt game. I know that Celta a bit ruined that, but I didn't see the players. I saw the players fighting in the Celta game. Like, I didn't see them demotivated, so I don't think we're going to see that much of a drop off. Wait, what is our next game after the break?
Osasuna.
Oh, Osasuna, and then Arsenal.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what we do at the Emirates.
Yeah.
I think we.
Yeah. For me, like before we end the episode, like just the closing remarks. I would say, I'm not really afraid of any team. I mean, I was afraid of Real Madrid like when they came to Metropolitano because they were literally firing on all cylinders. But now, like after the that match has happened, and I'm not really afraid of any team playing at our home, but away from home, yes, I am afraid. See, that's the problem. It has been like you look at Liverpool again. We were good, yes, but we lost. Same. I think we haven't played any big team away from home except Liverpool, and there's not a single positive record. At home, we have played two good sides. Villarreal, they were good. We defeat them 2-0. Real Madrid, again, they were firing on, like they were very good. We won that game. At home, I'm confident. Away from home, again, this is the same thing I see as when I think it was last season when Morata and Griezmann were up front. Like at home, we were amazing. We were banging 7 goals, 6 goals easily. But then away from home, something happened. I don't like we, for example, that match against Girona where we lost 4-3. The match against Dortmund in the Champions League where we were actually on top quite few times and we had the chances as well, but we didn't finish. And then again, Dortmund really hurt us. So it's I'm kind of like sensing the same thing from Atleti Madrid this season as well. So this is something I think with every player available at the team, I think this can help because the game against Espanyol that I saw was like we had proper control of the game until the 70th minute, obviously. But this is, I think, like where every player can contribute to control the game away from home. And this is what I think we really have to improve away from home. That's, I think, because at home, we are literally like one of the best teams in the world. Away from home, I don't know, something happens to us. And also at home, like like I remember this record, like like we always lose against Barcelona at home for some reason. I don't know why. Rest of the teams we can face any team, we can face them easily. But with Barcelona, it's different. I don't know why. At home, we always lose against Barcelona at home. But anyway, Saint Keeks, your closing remarks, and then we will finish the episode.
I'm looking forward to what we could do. I think, like, to follow up on what both of you all have said, I'm looking forward to the season thus far. I think I said in the first 3 games where we only had 2 points, I was saying I think the underlying principles of the team were looking very good, despite the fact that we didn't have the results to show for it. And I still feel that way to some degree. I think we can still very much improve, but I think we're in a position where we can get that to, I think we can, if we have 1 or 2 more players, we can get to that next level. To me, not necessarily supersede Real Madrid and Barcelona yet. I don't know if that's something that can happen soon, but more so in the sense of this season, I feel like we are on the level of Real Madrid and Barcelona in terms of our overall football level in the league. I think we could do something in the Champions League. I think if you look at Alemany, every time he goes to a club, he win at least 1 trophy, right? So I'm looking at that.
I mean, that depends. Like, if you're telling me like 1 trophy, we're gonna win the Super Copa. That's it. Like, come on. Like, I don't want that. I want something.
I'll take what I guess, but I want the Champions League. That's what I want. I want this
That's the spirit.
And so if we win it this year, and then next year we defend the title. That makes sense to me.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit. So there you go, guys. I think that's way too nervous. 1 hour or something for an episode for today. Like and share as usual. Subscribe, and thank you, Frank, for joining us early in the morning. Until then, it's just the one thing. Enjoy the game against Inter Milan, which I think like we'll post that game only. So yeah, hopefully let's see what kind of result would that be. And then, but anyway, until then, Opa Atleti, guys. See you guys soon.
All right.